Hey everyone, welcome back. So here's something in a previous video I did not too long ago that I said I really wanted to show you about. You can check that video out. I was at the QRP event where John and Rick were working satellites with this little neat device. I reached out to the company, wanted to know more about it, play more, and show you a more in-depth video. So they sent this to me, and this is by CSNTECHNOLOGIES.net. This is the S.A.T, the S.A.T, the Satellite Tracker, or not necessarily a tracker, but a fully autonomous rig control and rotor controller that has all the elements that you can upload that are in here. It'll control everything where you just got to push the button and talk on the radio. Now, I love satellites, and I built my own satellite tracker years ago, you remember? And that's built, that actually costs twice as much as, or more than twice as much than to buy something like this. And this is a lot more self-contained. It's very simple to set up with just a web browser. You use your phone, you can use a tablet, a laptop, whatever. And it works with multiple Icom radios. In this video, I'll show you quickly. I have Rick's Icom 9700 that I borrowed. And man, let me tell you what, I keep saying this. I had to part with my 9700 a couple years ago, and man, I missed this radio terribly. This is the best radio I've ever owned and operated, and having Rick's here on the table really makes me jealous. But now everybody in Vero's got one of these things, so it's a really neat device. Now, this Icom 9700 is the one in production right now that is advertised with this S.A.T tracker as being the go-to choice. But you could use this with a Icom 9100, an Icom 910, an Icom 820, and an Icom 821. And you could use it with Yaesu rotators like the G5400, 5500, and 5600. If you have any of those devices, this will work with it. Now, people are going to ask, I don't understand, why can't this work with an Icom 705? Why can't this work with my 857 Yaesu? Well, I'm not sure. And if you post those comments below, I know that the developer is reading those comments. So maybe there's a way to get this to work with a 705, but think about this. This unit is specifically designed and tailored to control the transmit and receive frequencies on these radios that have dual VFOs for the uplink and downlink of the satellite. You can't really do that with a 857 or a 705. I mean, I've used the 705 to work satellites, but you can't get full duplex, dual receivers simultaneous on the 705. All right. So maybe there's a way to do other things with this. Right now, we're going to focus on showing you the 9700. And if you don't have one of these, I just saw an Icom 820 on eBay for $300. Now, I bet you're going to go buy it, but it'll be gone by the time I get this video done. So this unit does not have any batteries in it. Let me show you more about it. I'm running this right now on my little 4 Patriots solar-powered USB battery bank. You could use this plugged into your laptop. You could use this. You'd want to have some sort of battery source, but if you had like this out in the sun charging this battery bank and then providing power to this, man, this thing will run all day and night on a single charge. It doesn't draw much at all with that. And if you had it hooked up somehow to some kind of Bio-Eno, forget it. You're on days of power. Doesn't require much at all. Okay. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna unplug this for a second and show you a couple screens on here. Okay. And this is made out of plastic. It's got like a cool. Check this out. It's kind of got like a cool, like reminiscent of a hotspot. You know what I mean? It's all self-contained. The screws on there. Very good build quality. Very straight. Everything is manufactured. I mean, I don't know if this is 3D printed or no, it can't be. This is way too smooth and perfect for 3D printed. And look, guys, made in the USA. You guys always say, oh, I'm not buying this China stuff. Well, here you go. Okay. The website and everything is in the description below. So on the back, there's just a couple of connections here, and it comes with this neat little stand here. You can take this stand, pop it out like this. And if you're out in the field, like you'll see John in the other video and stuff, and Rick and everything, has a nice little stand, okay? Makes it easy out in the field. Also comes with a, looks like a cloth braided 3.5 millimeter CIV cable. This is tip, ring, and sleeve. And looks like it's not just a cheap China connector. It looks like it's got some better quality on it. And also comes with a accessory cable for your rotator. This is, on the back of this is the DIN. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mini DIN, or an 8-pin DIN on the back here. If you see that, to a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, here's the connections right here if you want to see this up close. All right, that's what it comes with. And that's going to go into your Yaesu rotor system. And lastly, it comes with just a USB, standard USB. Although this, they give you a rather long one. And if you don't need it for this, charge your phone or tablet, whatever. But definitely a longer cable. Now, the only thing that's going to control your radio is just the CIV. It's got the address, the address of this radio, the 9700 is, I think, A2H. That's the CIV address. And if you're not sure about that, look up online about going into the menu. I mean, I can show you now, but I want to make the video as short as possible. But in the web interface, I'll show you that. You can just basically go to rig and set up the radio and the A2H or whatever CIV address you're using, and boom, it's controlling the transmit and receive frequency for the Doppler shift of whatever satellite you're working just through this cable. And that cable goes right in the back of the 9700 to the remote jack or the CIV jack. All right. Now, when you first power this on, in a stock form, it's going to come up with an IP address. So I'll show you. It's going to. I didn't show you the last thing here. There's a relay thing here. It's like a 3-pin Phoenix connector, and although I might be mistaken on what I saw, but I did hear that John said in the guide you could set this up for various things, such as like a light bulb or an audible buzzer, so that when there's a pass approaching, it's going to alert you. You know, instead of watching everything, when you see the light bulb goes off. Okay, I got like a minute coming before the satellite starts to rise off the horizon. I don't know too much about that. I didn't find too much of that information. I didn't look hard enough, so we'll leave that alone. We're going to plug this in. Comes right up. All right. Now, hopefully that's coming out on the camera here. Now, what it's doing here, it's already got my Wi-Fi connected. That connected in seconds. That's it. And it's got the SAT, the GPS, and the version on here, and the serial number, okay? The goal behind this is first it's going to come up, and it's all in the manual. It's going to tell you your IP. It's going to say not Wi-Fi connected. But basically, you're going to go on your phone or your computer or wherever and look for the hotspot, Wi-Fi hotspot that's generated from this. It'll say CSN _ serial number / track, whatever. You click on that, and it's going to take you right into the web interface. That's where I put in my Wi-Fi information, and it now automatically detects my Wi-Fi here and jumps on. If I take this out in the field, or Rick wants to take this now when I'm done with the video, take his radio back and bring this out in the field, after a couple seconds or minutes, it's going to detect my Wi-Fi is not there and go back into access point mode. He can simply use a tablet or his phone, see the hotspot, connect to it, and leave the settings alone and just start operating it right there. I'm going to show you the web interface in this video, and I'm also going to show you some stuff on the website because I'm not giving it enough credit. There's more. It doesn't come with a manual. The manual's online, and there's more about this than just tracking. Guys, listen. You don't even have to have a rotator with this. You don't have to have a full-fledged, M2 low Earth, or M2 low Earth orbit with the Yaesu rotor and all that. You can simply use this with your existing 9700 to get the frequencies and adjust for Doppler, and you can still use your Arrow antenna and do it handheld. A handheld antenna with this on the table without having to watch the scope. And one thing that's very important to know. This does have satellite mode in here, this 9700. You do not want to be in satellite mode. Your transmit, if you look on here, should be, the transmit VFO should be on the top. If it's on the bottom, if you go like this, I gotta remember how to do this now. If I go into satellite mode, it's on the bottom. Now, satellite mode is adjusting for the Doppler shift. You don't want that to happen. You want to be in VFO mode and let this do the work. Satellite mode in here is fantastic, but you don't want to use satellite mode with this. So menu, turn satellite mode off. The transmit should be on the top VFO. Once you tell it what satellite you want, it's going to set all this for you. Done. So let me show you a couple other bits of information. And if there is a pass, well, I can't guarantee I'm going to get outside and use this for a pass because I've already spent too much time on a lot of things and nothing's done for Christmas. But I'll tell you this. if there's a pass coming, I'll let it just show you the frequency changing, and I'll insert a little clip in here as a little tiny spot of the video I did when I first saw this, which I explained more about that, but not as in-depth on what this will do. You can check out John and I'm using that out in the field with this thing controlling the radio and the rotator, because he's got the G5500. Pretty cool stuff. So let me show you some more information about this. All right, so let me show you a couple things here on CSNTECHNOLOGIES.net, just because I didn't cover it all, and I want you to see that there's a lot more that I can show you on this thing. Click on the SAT here. They have 2 units, but we're worried about the SAT right here. Now, the easiest thing is to go down here and go to View the User Manual right here on the left side. Now, big thing, do not attach the SAT to your Yaesu rotator until you complete the calibration steps described below. Gives you a complete calibration on the bottom. But just an idea here, you know, the LCD shows you the downrange, the speed of the satellite, which satellite you're working, the acquisition of signal, loss of signal, and stuff. So it'll give you a time here you can see on this device here, okay? By the way, I looked now, this is a relay output for normally open, normally closed. So, you know, probably, like I said, you could set that for different things that you want it to do for a relay. Radio CIV connection, okay? So it does show you on here the 9700 and the 9100. You're looking for that little CIV jack right here, okay? It's on there. It shows you. You can go there. All right. So here's some other things you could do with this. All right. Let's go down here. Here's the dashboard, right? So it's got the track panel. It shows you next passes, or you can continuously select the satellite even after loss of signal. Not sure why you would do that. Map and chart panels to show you. This is all in the web interface when you're dialed into the IP. The world map's got your polar. Gives you an idea of, as a polar graph, of where it's coming and where it's going. Pretty neat stuff here. A ground view, so you can see the azimuth and elevation. Okay, you know, great for setting this up with an iPad or a phone if you're using it handheld, like with a handheld arrow antenna. Put the phone connected to this. Open the browser on your antenna while it's in your hand. You can see everything. Right. Radio panel, so it automatically sets the frequency for you based on the satellite and the mode. Wow, that storm is coming. We got a nasty squall line coming through here. Option buttons, you know, you have a rotator. You can manually rotate if you needed to for a manual control panel. It's got your pass log, your QSO log, open location, grid square, call sign, time settings. You could pan the rotor here to, you know, move your rotor for manual on here. It's got the TLE frequency database panel, so you can update the tiles. I'll show you that. You can update them right here. I call them tiles, TLE. You could do an internet update on the frequency database. It takes all that information and makes sure that it's ready to go. I advise you to do that first before you use this thing, just in case something's changed. All right. Rotator panel. It's got a lot of stuff here. Okay, it's right here. You have an alarm that can be played with a beeper, so that you know, when it's ready to go, the alarm starts activating. A lot of different stuff here. Okay, network panel, radio panel. I'm going to show you that now but I mean, you can see it's got a lot of. You can put memory channels in here, so that you can just go bounce from satellite to satellite. You know, and it makes it really a lot of stuff here. It's also got some stuff here for your location. I'm not sure what you do with this. Like, I guess for logging? Yeah, for logging. For call sign, your grid, your lat long, or you could use the GPS that's in the unit, in the SAT unit, to automatically fill in the grid and location fields of where you're at. The GPS is mainly for the time and the tracking of, you know, where the satellite's coming from, where they're going, right? That's why it's got GPS in it. Pass log and more. Okay, then here's your rotator calibration here, and you see right here, while tracking, you could do it different ways. You know, it's more than just a box that's. I can see it right now. Oh, I could turn the knob myself. I don't need to pay $250 for that. No, it's not. That's not the design of it. This automates it. If you want to have a YouTube channel and make videos, trust me, I've tried making satellite videos where I'm trying to hold the antenna, control the 9700, talk on it, transmit, adjust for Doppler shift, and get it for video. That's why you didn't see a lot of videos on that when I had my 9700. If this existed, man, I could set it and forget it like Ron Popeil and just work on making video, you know? So that's what's cool about this. So enough of this. Let me go to a web here. I'm going to go, let's see, what's the address on here? It is 192.168.1.195. 192.168.1.195. There it is. So it just it comes right up here. Now, if you get yours first, your address is going to be 1.4. Then when you connect it to your router, it may change your subnet group and all that. You know, you don't know. But no, you can't get to this because I just gave you the IP. You can't log into it at my house. Doesn't work that way. It's a local IP here. So anyways, so satellite name. So let me just give you a brief thing real quick. Let's go satellite name. Let's go to SO50. Everybody knows SO50. Search. Schedule loaded. There it is. Okay, it takes a second. All right, so the position of it right now, you can see if I scroll up, here's the position down south of South Africa, between Antarctica and Africa. And there's the past predictions. It's telling me that the next, what's this saying here? So the next pass will be at 6:59 p.m. And, yeah, okay, so let me read this here for a second, right? Because this is, yeah, it's going to be a very low elevation pass. Very low elevation. But once you enable this and see, you can set the radio to, you know, that's a big touchy subject. You don't need 100 watts in that satellite. Please don't do that. Please. You got 100 watts, you can transmit on FM, don't do it. Okay, it's line of sight, and you become that guy in Mexico that just takes over that repeater up there in space, and nobody can talk on it because he's putting like a kilowatt into it. So please don't do that. The bandwidth, wide, medium, or narrow. This is where I didn't have it. Transmit PL. There you go. You want to set that on for whatever. This is the standard PLs. Sometimes you have to arm the satellite for a 15-minute timer with 74.4, then drop back to 67. And if you're using the linear satellites, you could do sideband. I mean, there's even data. Somebody was telling me they're doing FT8 on satellites and all kinds of stuff. RIDI and I mean, that's pretty cool. Okay, so you could, and it'll set all this when you enable it. Boom, the radio is ready to go. All right. So here's the frequency and the tone and all that. So my GPS in my house has 6 satellites, so that's pretty good. Inside of block home. Next passes. So here's the satellite. Let's go to next passes. Okay. So where are they at? Do I not have next passes? Let's try another one. Let's go 8092. Let's do the FM satellites here. Okay. All right, there we go. So there's the position there. Okay, and if I go to view all path, let's see. So satellite list, we got SO50. We could do FO. Was it AO91, AO27, FO? There it is, FO20. I already had that selected. A lot of satellites here. ISS and more. Okay, so we're gonna save. Report for selected. Here you go. Now, this should give me a report for those. There it is. So these are the satellite pass reports for here, calculated based on my area right here per GPS and the time that's going to happen. Okay, your acquisition of signal, loss of signal, azimuth and elevation, duration. You want to look for, you know, John likes hitting these. John's going to top of parking garages now so he can work 4-degree elevation passes. I ain't got time for that. Life's too short. I do like 25, 35 and above with a handheld antenna is all I do. But John's like, I think I could hit one at like 2 degrees. Well, you probably could, but I'm not going to go to the top of the parking garage for that. But John gets excited. John is excited. He's awesome. So here's all your passes. So you get the idea of what this is doing. If you want to print it out because you're not going to have a computer near you, hit this print button. Print that out, and you could set you could set this device to be favorites on here and assume that these passes in order as they come in, it's going to set and be ready to go. All right. So that's pretty cool. There's other stuff here. Like if you go to radio on the bottom, oh, here, schedule. See? Right here. So you can schedule it, schedule satellites below the minimum pass settings will be skipped. So for me, if I said minimum pass I want to be is 10 degrees elevation, well, it's not even going to show me anything that's less than that. That's what that means. All right, close that. So we go to radio here first, and so we have standard Icom. Now this says Icom 7100, and that's weird because I have one of those. So not sure, but you see 820H, 821H, 910. Then I know the 9100 and the 9700. So for this to connect to this 9700, I hit standard Icom, and the thing was A2H here. Main is up, sub is down. And I just save radio settings, and when you plug into that, it'll connect via CIV to your radio, and away you go. Here's another thing to know: network. Here's where you will show or do your Wi-Fi access point. You pick one. It won't do 5G from what I see. It only does 2.4 gigahertz. No problem. You put in your password and you hit connect. Then it's going to drop the access point that it's providing and connect to your home Wi-Fi. Okay, let's close that. TLE and frequency database. So here, like I showed you, if I just click update TLE, it's going via Wi-Fi. There it is. 203 satellites loaded. They're up to date, ready to go. If I hit internet update like this, frequency database is updated, and then if you want to upload something to this, you can do it here, probably for firmware. I'm not sure what that's for. Maybe a file that doesn't exist on the internet database. Yeah, that's pretty much all really to get this thing up in order to where it's connected on the internet and to your radio. If there's other things on here, I'm sure there's a lot, but there's a lot to cover, and I'm trying to give you an overview about this. Now, I'm going to put in a clip now of the video of John. I'll cut it up and show you a couple things, but I encourage you to go back and watch that video because that's the one where a lot of people said, wow, we got to know more about this. And that's when I reached out to CSN Technologies. Thank them for sending this to me because now I'm going to let Rick, because I don't have a 9700, I said, Rick, let me borrow your radio for a little while. Then you can borrow this and play with it. And I'll be out there on Saturdays and find him and let him use it for a while, and I'll show him the thing. When I get a 9700 one day, Rick, I'm taking it back. So enjoy it while you can. So let's totally let me show you a couple things on the video I did before. Before I show you this, let me just give a big thank you again to my sponsors at Ham Radio Prep. Listen, if you use the code ERIC20, you save 20%. That's the first thing. It makes it rather cheap. Number two, it's easy. To get your license, there's no excuse that some people I know are using why they haven't got their license. Then look at the video I just did at our second annual Ham Fest in Treasure Coast. I met David. He's got his license now. He said, I don't know, I never thought about being a ham radio operator. Loved your videos. I used Ham Radio Prep. It ain't no joke. I got it in a matter of days. Ham Radio Prep is a big sponsor of mine. I appreciate what they do for me, and I appreciate them giving you the 20% off code. And man, there's a lot of people using it. Just want to remind you again, Ham Radio Prep is the easiest way with the updated 2022 question pool, everything you need to know, interactive videos, brain games, have an idea of what you're testing for. Don't just study out of a book or watch an outdated YouTube video from somebody else. Thank you to Ham Radio Prep. Again, use the code ERIC20 at checkout, save 20%. You'll understand a lot of this stuff I'm talking about.
Roger, roger, thanks. Take care, WO32.
Kilo Mike 4, Mike Charlie Kilo, Echo Lima 97.
There you go.
There's no software needed. This has everything in it. All you need to do is.
Is it like a Raspberry Pi or something?
I don't know how it works in there. It's got Wi-Fi. I connect to the Wi-Fi to this. I put in the IP address in a web browser, and it does everything.
So that's got all the Keplerian elements and.
It does everything.
How do you know how do you choose a different satellite on there?
When you go to the
the app. Okay, the app is the interface.
and it's not even an app. It's just an IP address for the SAT.
Does it have Wi-Fi on it?
Yeah, it's got Wi-Fi. Just connect to it.
What does that box cost?
$239.
Wow, it's cheap for what it's doing.
And I don't need a computer. I can operate it from the phone or anything,
Nice.
as long as you can get to a web browser and Wi-Fi. So you can search for your satellite. So if you wanted to go to, what is it? Pick a satellite.
SO50 maybe.
SO50.
I had the other one,
Search.
but
Come on. Maybe I didn't hit search. SO50 tells you the transponders that are on there.
And if you click that, will it set the frequency in the radio?
Yeah, so I click enable the radio, or I can enable the antenna also, and it takes care of everything. It controls it all.
Talk a little loud. I think it's the wind's going to knock us out here.
Yaesu G5500. I bought it used. I got a deal with 2 preamps, the rotator, the cable, everything. So I got a good deal on that, and right now I'm just using the handheld antenna on there.
So this is the old Arrow, the old trusty Arrow.
Just the old trusty
Arrow 2, right?
Yep, I'm not using the duplexer in it. I got 2 separate lines to it, so I can put a little more power than the 5 watts. Kilo Mike 4, Mike Charlie Kilo, KM4MCK.
Hey, we got it that time. Yeah, good.
Look at this. That is sideband below the horizon. It's not even, it's facing the water over here. Wow. You ever made a contact through the crust of the earth?
Kilo Charlie 4, Charlie Juliet. Kilo Mike 4, Mike Charlie Kilo, Echo Lima 97.
Keep it turned up.
QSL, Echo Lima 98, little south of me. Very good. Have a good day. Thanks for the contact.
And have a good weekend. KM4MCKKYSE.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, in the Atlantic up in Melbourne there. Thanks for the contact. Appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll work you again. Kilo Mike 4, Mike Charlie Kilo, QRZ.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. The little SAT tracker plugged into my little solar battery bank. Easy peasy, man. I mean, you could really put this thing together and have a self-contained. I mean, like I said, you don't have to have a Yaesu Rotor or nothing. Just have a radio that's compatible. Even buy a used one. Buy one of these and make it so easy to work the birds. And there's let me tell you what, the satellite birds are a little more tricky than FM if you've never done those before. There's a lot more with the polarization change and the Doppler, but there's also different transponders. So you could, on the same satellite, there's several other transponders going at the same time, whereas FM, you get one guy blanking out everything. Sideband birds are a little bit different. Then you got CW, you got digital. If you're wanting to be that FT8 expert, again, I heard this from a couple people working FT8. Oh, the one guy told me, here's a funny story. He was at HamFest, the second annual Treasure Coast HamFest, and he says he is getting, when he lives in, I think, Newfoundland or Nova Scotia, somewhere right up there, and he said he's getting Europe FT8 through his satellite, and they're like junkies to try to get him because the way that on that satellite, the way the footprint is, he can get from the tip of the U.S. to the tip of Europe. He could, and they're like, oh my gosh, if that pass is right down the middle of the Atlantic, he's working these people, and they'll do anything to get those contacts DX on FT8 through his satellite. So it can happen. It does happen, and this makes it a lot easier. So that's all I got to say in this video, and I hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday or whatever you celebrate. It's been tough around here for me. It's just me and my wife this year. I still don't have lights up. I just got the tree up today. It's December 15th, and yeah, we're really behind. So let's see if I can get a couple more videos done this year before it's over. But I kind of appreciate everybody. I really appreciate everybody you know, watching this stuff, I just kind of trying to get family stuff and, you know, home stuff done too. So it's not all about videos. I mean, you guys are watching, but it takes a lot of time to schedule something like this. So peace out, everybody. Have a good day.